Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Harry. Harry is from London, in England, in the UK. So let's see what Harry has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hey Matt, how you doing? You okay?
Hello, Harry. I'm very well. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Cheers. I'm good. I'm good.
Thanks so much for taking the time for the interview this Friday evening. Thank you.
That's all right. Don't worry.
So tell me, how's your day been so far?
It's been good. I've been playing a couple of tunes. Been playing some piano, practicing, and I'm going and doing a short little trip to Spain tomorrow. So I'm getting a few things ready for that. It's all nice.
Where are you going tomorrow?
I'm going. Well, it's not in Spain. Sorry, I'm going to Mallorca.
Oh my God, amazing. Gonna run away from the rain in London.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and it's worth. Yeah.
So I believe we were born in London as well, or not?
No, I was born in Birmingham. I'm from Birmingham originally, and then I moved down south when I was 18.
I see. And why the move from Birmingham to London?
I moved originally to go to uni, and then I stayed just because my friends were here, and there seemed to be a bit more work here and stuff like that. And it's nice to sort of, push out of where you were born, I guess.
And all your family are back in Birmingham?
Yeah. Well, I live with my brother here.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of my family are in Birmingham.
Harry, I know you are a singer, so tell me a little bit about your career, how everything started.
I started doing cover bands when I was about 15.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing in like wedding bands and stuff like that. And that took me to uni when I was about 18, when I did a lot of session work. And then only really at this, I suppose it was about 2020, I'd always written songs on the side and stuff like that. But really, I suppose I'm probably from a micro generation of like lockdown artists, I guess, where it was being indoors, where you actually had time to not be distracted by work and busy work, that you kind of go, well, what is it you actually want to do? And then you kind of go, well, I've got all these songs that I want to do. And since then, I've found it to be like the most satisfying musical thing that I've done.
I see. And I believe that you are a songwriter as well.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Do you write songs like very often? How does it work for you?
I kind of come in and out of it. I'll do like, a 3-month period where I'm trying to sit down every day, and then I'll kind of take some time out a little bit, because I think if you can overdo it, in my opinion anyway, you can overdo it, and then if you come in and out of it, you've always got something to say when you sit back down again.
And mostly, what's the most inspirations that you have to write your songs?
It depends what I'm writing for. I mean, a lot of stuff is, I often have this thing where it's like, oh, what if there was a song that did this? I call them what if songs, where you do kind of ask yourself, well, what if there was a song that talked about this, but was in the style of this? How would that go? And you kind of hypothetically put the shape in place, and then all you have to do is actually go and execute it.
It's very good. Right, so before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, I would like to tell me something interesting about yourself.
Something interesting about me. I play piano, guitar. I can make noise on a couple of other things. What else is interesting? I'm learning French. I've been learning French for about 120 days now, so I'm pretty early on, but I'm enjoying that.
Wow.
But yeah, so I suppose those.
And why French?
I did it at school and I really liked it. And I like the way it sounds as a language. It's quite a musical language with the inflections and the rhythms. And I did it at school and I did okay with that. So I thought I'd kind of continue that really. And it's just a good mental exercise as well. You always want to keep learning and keep trying new things.
When the world went upside down in 2020, I started as well. So I was literally studying French every day. My best friend is French.
Okay.
And I've got a godson, 2 years old godson. Actually, I was in Bordeaux last week. I just came back now, and I like the sound as well. It's amazing. I think French is a beautiful way of talking.
Yeah, I think so too.
Harry, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Okay, let's do it.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. This is my best friend, okay? random fun questions. Let me play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Let's do it. Okay, Harry, before we start the game, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay, I'm sure you'll be all right, but sure.
Right, first question for you is, if you could have been a moment or event in history, which one that would be and why?
If I could have been there?
Yeah.
Maybe what comes to mind is the Beatles at Ed Sullivan in '64. That would maybe be worth being in that audience.
Tell me why your fascination about the Beatles?
Well, that specific, the Ed Sullivan performance is the thing that loads of people afterwards, that like the generation of artists that came afterwards, they all cite that as the sort of eureka moment where they decided that that's what they were going to do. They were going to, you know, pick up a guitar or a piano or whatever it was and have a go at it themselves. So I think if, you know, there's a before and after of that moment by the sounds of it in terms of the effect it had on music 10 years later.
Amazing. Good one. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Harry, next question for you is, what's the best and the worst of being yourself?
The best and the worst of being myself? Do you mean about myself?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm probably, I probably am a mood swingy person. I think that's fairly true of artistic people, creative people. You kind of come in and out of things. But also there's, you know, I like my life. My life's nice. I get to play music for people, and that's people seem to enjoy it, which is always a bonus. And I've got a good network of friends, and my family are good, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I suppose those two. Saying
that, when you started your career as a singer, did you have the support of your family?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, both my parents played instruments a little bit, but they were more kind of fans of music than musicians themselves. But we would always like listen to music in the car and in the house and stuff. And it would be something that you talk about. You don't just listen to it and it kind of washes over you. You go, oh, do you like this song? Do you not like this song? Why do you like it? Why don't you like it? That kind of thing. So yeah, I think that they kind of like that I'm doing something musical.
And when you think about Birmingham, what do you miss the most about the city?
I really like the Birmingham accent. I know that people maybe don't, but I really do. I like all accents actually, but the Birmingham accent I really, really like. And there's a sense of humor and a sort of blunt humor that sometimes looks harsh, but actually it's an affectionate kind of teasing, I guess, that I really, really like, which is common in Birmingham.
Can you give him an example, like the difference, the accent between Birmingham and London, or the part in England?
Well, Birmingham's got a really heavy vowel, hasn't it? So even the word Birmingham, you hang on the phonetic U of Birmingham, whereas it's a little bit cleaner in London, for example.
Next question. Let's do it. Right, before the next one, I believe that your new song, it's called Adrenaline. Am I right?
Yeah, I had the most recent release was called Adrenaline, and I've just announced the release of a new one, which is called Take Your Time. So that's coming out at the end of October.
Tell me a little bit about both of them. What was the inspiration? How long have you been working on it for?
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, they're both part of an EP which is coming out called Social Commentaries. Okay. So the idea of the EP in a broader sense was there's a lot of pieces or either in music or art or in comedy or anything like that where it's kind of looking out on the world around you, but it tends to take a really cynical approach. And I thought it would be interesting, coming back to the what if thing, I thought it'd be interesting, well, how can you do that in a positive way and still be real, and, you know, don't kind of you know, blur reality, still be real but have a positive tone on it. So from those two you get Adrenaline and Take Your Time. Adrenaline's kind of about how as you grow as a person and take on new things, it can be confusing and feel like you're getting rid of your former selves or old friends or old places and old people and old behaviors and things like that. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? That kind of thing. And how, in my opinion anyway, fundamentally you're still going to be whoever you were when you were younger, just with tweaks and changes, if that makes sense. So that's what adrenaline's about. Take Your Time, which is the new one which is coming out, is about how we're kind of rushed into what I think are the two most important decisions of your life. What are you going to do and who you're going to spend it with? Like you're asked at school, you have careers meetings when you're a child, you're 17, and you're asked what do you want to do for the next 50 years, something like that. And you're not really the fact that your life and career might meander and might go different places is not really addressed or talked about. It's kind of, can you decide it as soon as possible rather than as well as possible? And I think that there's a slight pressure in the same way for relationships. People kind of, I want to be married by the time I'm 23 or whatever. That's a really odd thing to want to be by the time you're a certain age, in my opinion anyway. It could be that you could meet someone tomorrow that there you go, that's where you want to go, or it might take 10 years, might take 20, but it's not something that's worth rushing. So take your time.
Take your time. I like that. And when you were 15, what you want to be at this age? Remember?
When I was 15, I thought I would either be a teacher or a musician. I quite like I like talking. I'm a talkative person. So I think the teaching thing was maybe part of that. But yeah, at 15, I only just started doing like cover bands and stuff, and it was kind of fun, and you got paid, and it was this really, really cool thing. And since then it's taken on a kind of more a deeper fulfillment, really, and that I feel like there's a creative energy that I have to use up. Right.
Next question is, what bores you?
What bores me? Conventional thinking. So people who blindly follow tradition, or blindly, oh, okay, the status quo is to do this, so that's what I'm going to do. That I don't really have a lot of time for. And even, there are things that are traditional that you can keep, but keep them because they work for you. Don't just do it because that's what's been done. You know what I mean?
Totally agree. Very good point. I think it's good to, it's okay to, to keep the way you think, or the way you believe, or the way whatever tells you, but be open-minded, It's not just like that. If you are like that, it's kind of a clever way of being, because you can learn so much out of your, way of thinking or living or believing. I believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Next question. All right, next question is, who is the most influential person in your life?
The most influential person in my life, I mean, you can't have a most influential, but the people that came to mind are my dad and my mom and my two brothers. I think I'm quite a lot like my dad in terms of his character. My dad, we both have a similar sense of humor, and we kind of go about things in the same way. But obviously you're raised by, I was raised by my mom and my dad. And I think that I've got bits of both their characters. But also my brother's the person who I spend the most time with, because we lived together. We went to uni at the same time. Obviously we were at school. We're only one school year apart. So we're quite close in age and things like that. So I would imagine that there's a kind of an influence without any choice there.
Oh, that's very nice. Are you the oldest, the youngest, the middle?
I'm the youngest of three.
Ooh, spoiled?
I don't know. The youngest always has the hand-me-downs. So, I didn't have new clothes till I was about 15.
Say that, what's the biggest difference between you and your brothers, and what's the biggest similarity?
I think we all have the kind of blunt sense of humor.
Right.
I'm probably more creative and which one is it? Right brain. and they're maybe a little bit more left brain. But I think we've got a lot in common.
Very good. Ready for another one?
We have parents in common as well.
Okay, very good. Another question?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. All right, Harry from London. Next question is, if you met someone sad in the streets, yeah, what would be your approach to this person?
I had this today. Someone was, I had to meet up with someone to get a key for something, and I just said, "Oh, hi, you all right?" And they said no, which is never the response you expect. "Hi, you all right?" is always, it's really hello, but sometimes they'd lost their dog this morning, not lost it in like the park, that their dog got put down. Yeah, so I just said, "Is there anything I can do to make your day better?" And we just kind of chatted about it for a little bit. So I think I probably just chat to people. I suppose it depends what's upsetting them, but you got to do what you can.
I think that, Harry, what's the best part of living in London, in your opinion? And what's the most challenging part?
Most challenging part is, well, I mean, I'm away from home, which is just personally challenging. But the best thing is that you can go to all sorts of things, all sorts of times. Like there's little theatre shows, there's obviously the big theatre shows, but there's also these little tiny venues, tiny performances of stuff that you can get involved in, all like avenues of creativity. You can find a poetry night, you can find a stand-up night, you can find a music night. So you can sort of go as far as your imagination takes you.
Good. And the challenging part?
It's really expensive.
It can be. I think people, they just realize how expensive it is when you live in London, When I was in Bordeaux, I was talking to the mom of my best friend, and we were talking about London, and I was telling her that, London is expensive for tourists, but when you live in London, you can see how expensive it is, you know what I mean? Like on a daily basis, like doing shopping and, paying your mortgage or whatever.
Yeah.
You can see how difficult and very expensive it can be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is a lot.
Again, I mean, you live in a city where you have so many opportunities, as you said about the theaters, there's always something going on, and it's the way it is. You have all of these in your doors, but at the same time, you pay a price for it.
Yeah, it's the cost of, isn't it?
Absolutely. Next question. Right, before the next question, tell me, what's the best part of being a singer? What motivates you the most about expressing yourself and singing? And of course, there is as well as always a challenging part, what that would be.
Yeah, I think for me anyway, I think singing is the ultimate instrument, just because it's the most expressive. Like, you can play a melody or a tune on a guitar or a piano or whatever it is that you play, and it gets so far. But I think that singing, maybe because it has language added onto it, can have this extra kind of layer to it. I suppose it is because it's teamed with language, I guess. It's music and language coming together. The most challenging part is that if you're playing an instrument and that there's an admiration that people have, they go, "Oh, that must be really hard," or "I could never do that," that kind of thing. But there's lots of people that can kind of sing, they can kind of hold a tune, and they're kind of the brave karaoke people and stuff like that, which is all fine. So there's this element where I think anyway, all the psychological stuff and the exposure that you have, because it's not just an instrument that anyone could sit down and play. Everyone's voice is very different and unique to them, so it's part of your identity, it's part of you, and that's why people respond to it so well. But it also means that it's harder in terms of confidence, for example, to deliver.
I was checking a little bit about your profile, Instagram, and you have as well a YouTube channel where you sing sometimes.
Yeah. So with my releases, most of them, I always release a live from home version, which started during lockdown because there was no way to go and play your stuff live. But since then, I've kind of liked that you have to reshape the songs a little bit. You have to kind of rework them, and okay, it's just me. So I can only record myself 3 times. So it's the Harry Leo trio. And you know, you can, oh, okay, with just keys and vocals or guitar or bass or whatever it is, you've got to rework the song and make it still survive, if you like, that change of arrangement, which is a really enjoyable and creative thing in itself.
Okay. Right. Next question is, what is the biggest difference between you and your best friends?
The biggest difference between me and my best friends, I think I'm probably the creative one. Just you know, by circumstance, really. Although, yeah, I'd say that I'm the creative one, and they do have creativity, but they haven't chosen to adopt that in their careers. Their careers and their creativity are separate things. Whereas for me, I'm fusing the two.
And your best friends, most of them, they live in London or back in Birmingham?
My two best friends still live in Birmingham, yeah, and I'm seeing them when I go to Mallorca.
Wow. First time going to be there?
Yeah, I've never been before. I don't think. I might have been and not remember. But yeah, it's my first time going. I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Next one. All right. Next question for you is, right, if you could do something illegal without getting caught, what would you do?
If I could do something illegal without getting caught. Okay, how do you answer that without... if I could do something illegal, what's something that's illegal that shouldn't be? If I could do something illegal without getting caught, I would park on a double yellow. There you go. That's me. I'm covering my own back here. I'm not, you know, no one's getting murdered. I'm not stealing anything. I'm just parking on a double yellow.
Has ever happened to you before or not?
No. I'm a good boy.
Very clever. Next question. Right, before the next one, growing up, who was your musician, idol, or someone that you look to it, like someone that you liked it?
Well, my main instrument is piano. So the idea of the whole piano, singer-songwriter kind of thing, Billy Joel's probably my kind of main person where like I just learned that back catalogue and, you know, knew how it all went and tried to learn the songs myself and things like that. I'd probably say Billy Joel. He's also the person that I've seen live the most. I've seen him 3 times across the UK. So I'd probably go for that. Very
good. Right, next question is, what's the weirdest food combination have you ever tried?
Okay, hear me out, because I thought it was wild, and then I did it, and it's great. Mashed potato sandwich. Now, I know, but it's something, it's the softness, it's like almost a liquid thing. It's, what's the word, partially permeable, and then you got the bread, and there's something about the weird lack of flavor. I think it's like baby food, maybe it's just this mushy sort of baby food, but mashed potato sandwich, it's good.
And how did you come across the idea?
I probably was low on food in the fridge and I had mashed potato and bread. So I, you know, what is it? Necessity's the form of creativity or something like that. That's probably what happened.
I love mashed potato, but I never thought about eating mashed potato with bread. I will try.
I like mashed potato. I like bread. Mashed potato sandwich.
Imagine now you're giving ideas for people watching the interview and they get home like drunk or something. They don't have anything much in the fridge. Just go like, take a piece of bread, some mashed potato, done.
Get creative.
Next question, Harry. Let's do it. All right. Next question for you. Tough question now for you. Right. Let's say that your plane was going down. Yeah. And you just could call one person to say goodbye. Who that would be and why?
My mom. You got to call your mom, haven't you? Purely because she'd never forgive me if I didn't. I think, you know, if I want her at the funeral, she's got to get the phone call. I think that's how we'd have to do it. But yeah, you got to call your mom. Of course you have. What about you? You'd call your mom, yeah?
I was just thinking about that right now. Actually, I would as well, but I'm just thinking about it as well, like, my goodness, just the moment, to think about the moment, like, talk to them for the last time, and just knowing that, it's tough. I'll tell a story now that's happened to here in the Magic Box. I had an interview with someone from America, one of the states in the US, and actually he I don't know if it was this question or something about, he was talking about the event. I don't remember what was, but he said that his plane literally was going down, and not like to crash, but was something like very, very dangerous. And what they were doing, like landing, like emergency landing. And he was so scared that he called his mom, like literally, he just called his mom, and he was on the phone with his mom, and his mom could hear people, you know what I mean? Something was going on. And can you imagine that he lost connection when the plane literally kind of, what I mean? Like touched the floor, and he lost the connection with his mom. So for at least 2 hours, imagine, his mom thought that he was gone. Can you imagine?
Of course, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And he said, William, just 2 hours. Of course, people got hurt, nobody, you know what I mean, got like drastically hurt, but it was something very, very serious. And he couldn't call his mom because everything was lost, and suddenly after 2 hours. So imagine those 2 hours for his mom waiting, or maybe she thought that everything was already gone. Can you imagine?
Yeah, absolutely. That's wild. That's wild.
Oh my goodness. But I was like, but yes, I think mom is I think everyone would go for it.
Or a rescue team. I'd call either of those people.
But what they could do, you know what I mean? The rescue team.
You're getting, you're beating the queue. You're making an effort.
Right, 3 questions left for you. Let's do it. Before the next one, let's say that as you're a songwriter, let's say that if you could send, your song, you write a song for an artist, let's say, for 3 artists, different songs, who that would be?
Okay. If I could write songs for 3 people, I really like Taylor Swift's more folky stuff.
Okay.
So I'd maybe write for or with Taylor Swift, because I feel like I could do that thing, that rustic acoustic stuff that she's been doing lately. I'd love to write for Miley Cyrus, because she's on that rock album and she's doing great rock vocals now. I think it would be fun to do something like that. And it would be fun to write for, I feel like I could give John Mayer a song. I feel like, I think we probably share similar wavelengths on some stuff. So those would be my 3.
Let's say that 3 of them, they know you, yeah? And let's say with 3 missed call, 1 from each one. Which one would call straight away back? Which one you send a message, say, okay, I'll call you back in a few hours, and the 3rd one you say, okay, I can call this person later, it's fine, he can wait. Which one that would be?
I'd probably be the most keen to get back to John Mayer. Miley would get the WhatsApp, and Taylor's busy, so I'll have to just see her when I see her.
Oh my God, can you imagine Taylor Swift? Oh my God, I don't know. I think I'd call her straight away.
You would?
I think I would, yes. Oh my goodness, but yes, I think I would call her straight away. Miley Cyrus can wait a bit more, and the other one would be like, okay, it's okay, I can call it, it's fine. Yeah. Next question for you is, what is your favorite place in the entire world, and why?
Your favorite place in the entire world? That's hard. What came to mind is my favorite place in London, which is the Comedy Store. You ever been to the Comedy Store in Leicester Square?
No, actually.
It's this little, it's not expensive, it's not a big room, but it's this little kind of thing just off the main square in Leicester Square. And they do stand-up nights, they do new material nights, they do improv nights, and I've never gone and not enjoyed myself.
Good one. 2 questions left for you, Harry. Let's do it. Okay, before the next one, doing those challenging time from 2020, 2021, that the world was upside down for you? What's the biggest positive impact that brought to your personal life? And the same time as well, the negative one, if you can share.
I think, quite honestly, having that time, you know, I am I'm a worky person. I work a lot. So when it was suddenly up to me what my work was, because I had all this free time, you know, everyone did, you all had this pause moment. I kind of found that I really wanted to make music. And since following it, it's been the most fulfilling musical endeavor that I've done. So I think the positive would be that, you know, I kind of, rather than, I always kind of wrote songs and kept them quiet and kept, you know, maybe wouldn't show people and stuff like that. Whereas it kind of gave me this wake up thing of, well, you're doing it and you like doing it. So why deny yourself the chance to kind of do it properly, if you like? So that's easily the most positive. I think for me, I was 21 and I just feel like socially that kind of, however much it was, 21 to 22, whatever it would be, you know, I'd have liked those kind of social outings back, or those social years back. But I think that's the same for everyone, isn't it? It's the human interaction is the thing that we're all starved of over those 18 months, 2 years, whatever it was.
When you mentioned about those songs was a bit kind of left on the side, you kind of felt a bit shy, or, you know what I mean, to spread out. Why is that?
I think it's a couple of things. The school that I went to was a good school, but it was very left brain school. It wasn't all that nurturing of creativity or expressive stuff or anything like that. So I think it's maybe partly that. Also, it's not a common thing, you know. I'm sure a lot of people who kind of start maybe writing songs or poetry or whatever it is when they're kind of 13 or whatever, you are aware that this is something that not everyone's doing. A lot of people, you know, do sport, or a lot of people learn instruments even, but this kind of extra thing, just you feel like a bit of a minority doing it at first. And then that's one of the reasons I enjoyed uni so much, is that you go and you meet all these other like-minded people. Now, of course, you can't spend too long with like-minded people, but it was this thing of like, oh, you know, it's not just me. There's lots of people who think like I do.
Yeah. All right. Next question for you is, what's the worst advice have you ever given to someone?
I've ever given? Oh, okay. The worst advice I've ever given. Oh, I was one of those people when COVID first started. I was like, oh, it'll be 2 weeks or whatever. So I was like, oh no, don't get a haircut. It'll be fine. You know, in 2 weeks you can go and get one and all that kind of thing. And I was very, very wrong. So anything that I said in that kind of week, 7-day window was just probably absolute nonsense.
I'm sure you're not the only one.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of the mood, right? It would be, oh, it's 2 weeks. You know, you spend 2 weeks, just stay in your house, and then in 2 weeks it'll all be over. And then you're there 2 years later.
I think it's, in the end of the day, was a kind of a positive mindset of kind of, okay, it's going to go somehow. It's not that serious. You know what I mean? I think we were trying to not believe it, that was happening. It was something new as well that you never faced before. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's uncharted water, isn't it? You know, we had no point of reference for it.
Absolutely. Ready for the last one?
Yep, sure. Let's do it.
Last question. Can you dance as well, or just sing?
I'm terrible. I mean, I dance because I think so I'm convinced that my role in public dancing is to make other people feel like they can dance. If I go out and dad dance, which is what I do, then the people who maybe, oh, I'm not a great dancer, they feel like they can go and dance. So I feel like the room makes a net profit on me dancing, but I myself am absolutely terrible.
You said the expression that I never heard before. You are dead dancing. Dancer.
Dancing like a dad. Yeah.
Which means like just very...
Just terrible, weird shapes and limbs everywhere, and yeah, just awful.
Right, before the last question, people watch the interview right now. Would you like to start a career as a singer? You know, sometimes maybe they are in the same mindset as you were in the past, like having some songs on the side. Maybe they don't find they are not ready yet, or something they're kind of holding back. What would be your best piece of advice?
Just make sure you got pure intentions. Obviously I know lots of singer-songwriters and stuff, and the people who find it the most satisfying are the ones who want to make music and want to write songs and release that song. It's not necessarily about, oh, I want like a bajillion followers or I want money or whatever it is like that. Those people get frustrated and wound up and things like that. Whereas if you want to make music because you feel like that's something you have to do, and that pure, if you keep that pure intention, then you're gonna have a much healthier approach and attitude with it.
Last question for you is, share with us a crazy moment or story that happened to you when you were a child at school.
When I was a child at school, okay, so where we used to live, there was like a cricket club, which also had like a bar in it and stuff like that. And that's kind of where all the people would go and hang out and stuff. And they had, you know, all the kids would kind of just hang out. You'd kick a football around, you'd do whatever, blah, 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 blah. So we were playing frisbee, and the frisbee goes over a fence where all the equipment's kept. And someone climbs over the fence, and it's one of those fences with the pointy spike things at the top. And instead of climbing over the fence back, I hope I can tell this story. Instead of climbing the fence back, he kind of stands at the top and jumps off. And his ring, which he was wearing, you see where I'm going, don't you? His ring gets stuck on the point of the fence, and he hits the ground with 9 fingers. And we have to go looking for his finger, and we find it, and it was weird. It was weird, man.
Oh my God! So he lost his finger in the end.
Oh, well, we found it, but he did lose his finger. Yes.
Oh my goodness! How old was he at the time?
He was probably like mid-teens, I'd say 15, something like that.
Ooh, what a moment!
Yeah, there you go.
Are you still in touch with this person?
No. He's not good at texting, so.
I can't believe you said that. Oh my God. Right, Harry, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Family.
Alive.
Money.
Please.
Love.
Hate.
Life.
Death.
One word for sex.
Please.
Politics.
Boring.
Religion.
Interesting.
Fear.
Confidence.
Friendship.
Important.
Desire.
Healthy.
Regret.
Oh. Manageable.
Success.
What's the word? I've forgotten the word. Subjective. That's the one.
Okay. Wish.
3.
3 or 3?
3. You said,
okay.
Right? That's just what I thought of. 3 wishes.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to go to ask the 3 wishes, okay? I'm going to leave on this side. Happiness.
In one word, is satisfaction.
One word for music.
Expression.
One word for Birmingham.
Home.
How about London?
Home.
England. Home. Joking.
Diverse.
Good one. Right, one word for adrenaline. You're single.
Available.
Right. The last one now. Take your time and don't tell me available, okay? Tell me another word.
One word for take your time. Honest.
Actually, another one. One word for singer.
Bravery.
Right, let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee and I'm going to ask your best friends. Tell me the most beautiful thing about Harry and tell me something that you still need to work on, to improve on. What your best friend would say.
Okay. They would say that I'm honest, because I am. They'd say I think I'm generous with my time with people. If they need something or need to chat about something or whatever, I think I'm quite good with that. They'd probably say that I need to maybe I can be stroppy. They'd probably say that.
What means stroppy? I like this word. What that means?
Kind of moody, but in a slightly childish way.
You just made my day now. Learn something new. Stroppy. I like this word.
Yeah.
Wow, learning every day. If I would ask this,
hey, like for example, a toddler, a little child could throw a strop.
I see.
To like put a mood on and be grouchy. So yeah, stroppy.
Wow, very good. If I would ask the same question to your brothers, they would agree with the same answer you just gave now?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, yeah.
I can see them watch the interview now, they would go, no, I don't think so. Or maybe, oh yes, this was so right.
We'll find out.
Let's play now, Harry, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Right, but before you ask me the question, as you've been studying French, tell me your favorite French word.
Oh, sortir la poubelle.
Which means?
Take the bins out.
Very good. So now you can ask me a question.
Okay, so this is the question that whenever I'm with my mates and we start talking in depth about music, this is the question that I ask people because it's a good one that goes across the table.
Okay.
If you could pick a 10-year window of recorded music, and that would be the music that you get to listen to for the rest of your life, but you can't have anything outside that 10-year window. I don't mean decades, I mean a 10-year window. What would that 10-year window be? Now, while you're thinking, I'll give you mine. Mine is 1977 to 1987. So that I start with the back end of disco and punk and things like that. I get Queen, I get Bowie, I get Paul Simon. I start to finish up, 86 would be Bon Jovi, 87, I get Fleetwood Mac. So for me, 1977 to 1987, I've tried to buy you a bit of time. What would your 10-year window be?
I think I'll as you, but I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
You know, the end of the 70s when ABBA was on, you know what I mean? ABBA like kind of on their highest, when they started as well. Beginning of the 80s, you know, and suddenly the 80s just explode. 80s for me is the best decade of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All the time when I listen to the 80s, the music should be always like that. They were playing, they were singing, they were making music sounds. They didn't have technology. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And when you listen to the 80s, you can see the difference. You know what I mean? I love the new, you know, the modern music as well. I love dancing. I love music for me, it moves me, literally. Yeah. You have no idea. Music for me, when I go clubbing or dance, when there's music around, you have no idea. I could tell you so many situations that I've been through just because, as you say about that move, that dancing. I understand that, but at the same time as well, when I express myself dancing, it's about you being yourself. It's about, there are no rules. That's what I like about music and dancing. There are no rules. It's just how you express yourself. You know what I mean? So I think, back to your question, I would go for the same decade just because of that. Because I think at the end of the 70s, I don't have this knowledge about music, as you, of course, for sure, you are a singer and know very well. But I think that the end of the 70s, you know what I mean? The artists, they were there on their highest, and suddenly the 80s just hit, you know what I mean? And new people came along for these new decades, do you know what I mean? And most of them, they were, I mean, the 90s as well, there are so many, you know, but is of the 80s, because when I think about it, it's just like magical way. And suddenly the 90s hits as well, you know what I mean? This pop music just like took over the whole world. So tell me, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
I did, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for getting in touch with me.
Thanks so much for being kind and to accept my invitation as well. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or something that you live by.
Okay, so I'm not big on quotes. It's not something that I'm massively into, because I think it kind of simplifies some stuff. But my mom is. So that's where my brain went. My mom's big on quotes, and she's one of those people that has them all around the house on little plaques and stuff. And if you go for a wee in mom and dad's house, there's a little plaque that says, "Don't count the days, make the days count."
Ooh.
And there you go. There's my quote.
And do you believe in that quote?
Yeah. I think you should.
Very good. Thanks so much. Enjoy your holidays in Mallorca, and we keep in touch, okay? It was So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.